something else.
Hey. I didn't even know you could fish that.
No, I don't. Well, I don't think you can.
Dating.
There you go, guys. Lovely little rudd there, just on a little fluorescent orange and yellow buzzer there with a black head. Cracking little fish. Morning, guys. Andy the Budget Angler here. The sun's shining and it's not a storm. It's the first time in weeks it's been a reasonable Saturday to get out. So I'm out of the village pond. Not been here since last summer, really. So when I joined a couple of a little fishing line. Since I joined a couple of clubs, I haven't really bothered coming out here, and since I've moved it's a bit of a schlep. I've come out on my bike and I'm knackered actually. It's killed me riding here. I forgot how hilly it was, but yeah, it's good to be out, and it's yeah, a bit breezy still, as you're probably getting a blast of it on the microphone there, but yeah, compared to what we've had been, it's all right. So I'm going to try and see if I can get some nice little roach and rudd. It's a sunny day, I can see a few fish moving around, and yeah, just get a bit of fly casting, practicing, and see if we can winkle out a few fish. Because obviously the season is closing for coarse fishing very soon on the rivers, but around here you can fish for trout with artificial flies, obviously if the stretch of water permits it, and there are a couple of stretches that do here. And another one there, guys. The fish are really active today. I've seen them smashing at the fly even as it's touching the surface. Absolutely cracking fun. Let's see if we can try and get a bigger one. This is another little rudd. First roach of the day. Actually sight fished that one. I kind of just dragged it in front of him and he absolutely inhaled it. That tiny little buzzer. Cracking fun. Look at the beautiful orange eye in the sunshine. I know it's only a tiny fish, but they're so satisfying when you get them on a fly. Brilliant. Oh, another little rod there. I took my eye off that for a second. I can see the line just actually running away. They're fantastic, aren't they? They really are brilliant fun. Look at his gorgeous little upturned mouth. They're cracking little fish, Rudd, aren't they? Another tiny little rudd there, guys. I think what I'm going to do is change the fly, because I've just noticed this little buzzer, and I've just been like, that one was there. I've actually been sight fishing it, and the amount of fish that is, if I try and retrieve it, they kind of look at it and then sort of they shy away from it. But then when I just let it sink, they sort of tend to sort of investigate it, and then one of them, when the little shoal, I think one of them thinks, oh, I'm not, you know, they compete for it, and one of them grabs it. And I'm not sure if that's just the cold weather, and I mean, I'm not that up on fly fishing, but I know obviously you can fish a static buzzer. Is a method for trout fishing on reservoirs and stuff like that. But yeah, these little ones, they just don't seem to want to chase it. You can't see this, but I can actually see the fly going down now, and I can actually see fish investigating it, and they come up and then they turn their head, and there's one looking at it now, and he's just nudged it with his nose and he hasn't taken it, and they've swum away now. Oh, I don't know if you saw that. One of them there just grabbed at it, but they only just sort of nip at it, and they're so small. So I can see it sinking. I can see it sinking. I mean, all the fish are in this shelter, in these margins, I think, because I think the water's a bit shallower and it's probably warmed up with a bit of sunlight. Right, I can see one looking at it now. No, another one's turned away from it. It's just sinking beyond my vision now. I can just about see it because it's bright yellow and gold. No, nothing there. And so, but if I move it, they tend to shy away. So there's one looking at it. Oh, well, he sort of went for it then when I twitched it. It's a funny old, there's fish in it. You can't really, people spend years working out fish behaviour. Well, there you go, guys. The hunch paid off. I've put an olive-coloured nymph on a slightly bigger hook, and it's only a tiny bit of a bigger roach, but I'll take it. And as with roach, they're more inclined to chase their food than rudd, or that's my experience of them anyway. And just retrieving it, just swimming it, you know, instead of just letting it sink, that just had quite a few little plucks in it, and then this one took it. So yeah, it just goes to show. Sometimes you just change it up a bit and just change what you're doing, and yeah, great little fish. Tiny little rudd that time, again on the nymph. Hopefully you can see that silhouetted there, the sort of the feathers I've tied on there to sort of mimic, well, you generously call them legs or wings, but yeah, that was on a retrieve, and it must have sort of hit it as I was retrieving it, which is more unusual for the rudd, I think. Although, I mean, they're such tiny little fish, they're just going to be grabbing whatever they can eat, and they try and get bigger. Oh, that was a bite and a half for such a tiny fish. Smallest fish of the day, probably. I think the fly is as big as his head. He absolutely caned off with it. Brilliant. There you go, guys, another little rudd there. Again, I just changed the fly. I've just gone for a really silvery little nymph there with just a bit of dubbing as fluff around the head and a little blue head. Pale, very pale, and it's quite a big hook actually. And yeah, that was fished through the water, and he attacked it like a predator would. Absolutely cracking fun. Another tiny little rudd there, again on the silver thing. They absolutely love this silver one. They're like little piranhas chasing it. It's fantastic fun. Oh, this is a bit of a better one. Not much better, but a bit better. Oh. There you go, look at that, guys. Proper roach there. Absolutely smashed it. That's that silver one with the pale blue head. Absolutely beautiful fish. Cracking. A size 14 fly I'm using, and I don't know how they get it in their mouth. Cracking little fish, aren't they? Well, guys, that was a bit of fun. I've just filmed the outro. I thought I'd film it next to this abandoned trampoline for no other reason. I suspect it's arrived here in Storm, what was it, Eunice or Franklin or whatever the heck they were called. I don't know, maybe it's been fly tipped, I don't know, but for it to, you need a big old wagon to fly tip that. It's a massive trampoline. It looks in reasonable working order as well, and it's got the cover still on it. Yeah, it could be a fly tip though. It's like an inflatable chair or something there. It's a shame if it is, but yeah, some poor farmer's probably going to have to foot the bill for that. I don't know if they get money for that. I could just see a pheasant on the path. It's nice to be out in a rural location. Anyway, back to the fishing. That went a bad little session. That was quite good fun, really. Nice to get a tug on the fly line. No whoppers. There must be bigger ones in there, but I can never get them. And it's so chocker with teeny ones that it's so hard to get through them, no matter what your bait is. And I've tried with sort of bigger baits, pellets, large pellets, and haven't had anything. So yeah, I reckon persevering with the fly though. It is good fun, and I really enjoy it. So. Yeah, I'll give you a little, just a little picture of the flies I was using now. Just put a few of them up, just so you can kind of see what I was catching on and what they look like. They're all ones I've tied myself, all small. Well, I think a couple of them were size 14, which is not tiny. Obviously not huge either. And then Rudder got such big mouths, they can really hoover them up. So yeah, but really good fun. Nice to dust off the fly rod after, well, the first time this year. So. Yeah, and hopefully we'll get a bit more of that. I want to try some other places. I really want to get some fish on the Broads with a fly, but yeah, we'll persevere with that when the time comes. just so I can hear noise behind me, some joggers. They're not coming this way, so I'm going to carry on. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say. So yeah, if you, oh no, that's it. One more thing, I nearly forgot. I've got to give a shout out to Danny and Flynn, who watched the channel, and they stopped their car and came over and said hello, and they spotted me fishing. So that was really nice of them to do that. Always nice to meet people who like the show and or the channel and the show. What do I sound like? But yeah, it's great. So shout out to you, Danny and Flynn, and hopefully you might get out fishing tomorrow. You were saying. So if you did get out, then tight lines to you if you are going to get out, because this video is going out a week later, hopefully. And that just leaves me to say, if you've enjoyed that, please hit that thumbs up. Please consider dropping me a sub, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers, guys. Fish on.